I am Slick Nick. I received a comment that I think is worth making a video for. I want to share that with everybody. I made a video called "This is a Looks Maxing Channel for Red Pill Men. Focus on what you can control, not on what you can't." So our friend Castor, who's definitely a big supporter of my channel, and I appreciate him watching my videos here and leaving comments, because keeping these conversations going has a lot to do with the direction of my channel here. So he said, "Hi Nick, could you do a video on how to be strong-minded in this day and age?" And that received 1 thumbs up. So yeah, I think that's largely the kind of the focus on my channel and what I'm wanting to do here. So being strong-minded in this day and age, and the first thing I think of is I think of a time when people get to decide how they want to share their gender pronouns. Okay, I'm not here to criticize that. What I am here to say is, for those of us who identify as masculine, as men, then we have a certain advantage where we can kind of take advantage of that ultimately and embrace that and advertise that. And what we want to look at is what are traditionally masculine mentalities and mindsets, and ultimately that's sort of the basis of this. So I want to remind everybody fundamentally, if you're wanting to be strong-minded, what I would say first thing you need to do, write it down on paper if you need to. Write down what you feel your weaknesses are, what you're not good at. Write those down. And then on the other side, write down what you are good at. See, that's the thing. If you want to become strong-minded, you have to know what you're not good at. You have to know what you're weak at. And often that will reveal what you're actually good at. So for example, for me, I was never that athletic. I did play sports, but it wasn't really my thing. It wasn't until junior high and beyond that I started focusing on music and acting and speaking and things like that. And so I learned, okay, I'm good at this. A lot of people wouldn't want to be in front of others, speaking or singing or acting, etc., playing guitar, but I didn't mind it. So I learned that was something I was good at. Granted, I'm bad at a lot of things: math, science, engineering, any kind of home repairs. I'm bad at so many things, but I don't focus on that. I focus on what I'm good at, and I make that part of my identity, so that when I can help another person, I help them in conjunction with what I'm good at, not with what I'm bad at. So it's this concept too, as far as your esteem goes. Do I have a really, am I a conceited person? Am I arrogant? Do I think I'm better than most people? Absolutely not. I know what I'm good at. In my lane, I know what I'm good at. But do I think I'm better than anyone else? Absolutely I don't. But at the same time, do I have a low self-esteem? Do I feel insecure about myself? I do not, because I know what I'm bad at and I know what I'm good at. So I think that's important. I think it's important to also embrace masculine qualities like being sure of yourself. And a lot of people say, well, I can't be because I'm insecure. But have you written down what you're good at and what you're bad at, so that you can get a better idea of who really you are on paper as far as that goes? Because it's what you have to offer other people that make people like you to begin with, and ultimately make you strong-minded. When you know that you're valued by society, not because of your looks, but specifically what you have to offer society, because people around you are not going to be that impressed by your looks alone. There's like plenty of other stuff that they need from you in order for you to feel valued and be valued. So I want to remind everyone watching this video, recently I made a video specifically about this, but there was 7 traits when it comes to looks maxing, and I think I actually mentioned that video, that people are going to find value in you, which again confirms, if you feel valued by other people, you're probably going to be strong-minded. But ultimately it comes down to you either knowing who you are, figuring out who you are, or at least heading in that direction. So here's my 7 things, and as far as what people find in men, as far as making them being attractive. First, I say physical appearance. Sure, that's the first thing people see. Are you fit? Because you have control over that. Are you dressed nicely? And granted, look at me, I'm wearing a goofy Star Wars shirt and I don't even have my contacts in today. And look at me, my beard is showing some white hair there. Oh well. But still, as far as me being looking slobby, like let's say messed up, disheveled hair, or having clothes that don't fit me or clothes that are too baggy, you know, even in an off day, okay, this is presentable enough. That your hair is short, you embrace that masculine look. I say that's another thing. That you're smiling, because people find you more attractive simply if you're smiling, because it makes them feel better about themselves and makes them smile and sets a trigger in their mind, think, oh, I like this person because they're smiling and I'm smiling back. And hygiene, of course, that's very important. I wish I didn't have to say that, but I do. Next is that you're confident and decisive, you're committed, you're ambitious. Those are masculine traits. Next is that you're a good communicator, that you're focused on the other person, not about yourself. That you're able to make fun of yourself, but not in a way that makes it seem like you're insecure. So you can kind of poke fun of yourself, but ultimately keep the conversation going to get the other person talking more than yourself. You only serve as someone who's starting the conversation and not necessarily finishing it. You're letting the other person carry most of the way of that conversation so they can talk about themselves and not you talk about yourself. Next is that you're emotionally intelligent, that you see yourself as victorious. You find a way to make the thing work instead of thinking, oh, poor me, I'm a victim. But you find a way to overcome the obstacle. Next is that you respect women and men. So obviously I don't need to talk about what it means to respect women, but respecting men as well. Showing respect to other men, celebrating when they succeed. Because man, when you have someone celebrating you, even if they don't have a reason to, that's going to make you liked by everybody. And it shows that you're not insecure. It shows you're secure in yourself to celebrate someone else's success. Number 6, that you find identity in your unique skill set. I've already talked about that. And then 7, leadership qualities, specifically that you're positive, that you're encouraging, that you're motivating. I recently did a video talking about how every day I walk my 3 miles average outside before I even start my work day. And I had a guy yesterday stop me. He rides his bike every day, and he stopped me. He says, I want to say you're one of the most positive people I'm around on a daily basis, and I've never even met you. He just would go on his mountain bike and wave at me, how you doing? And I'd say, hey, doing good, how you doing? That's it. That's all I did, but I smiled as he said it. Well, finally he stopped to tell me that. It's funny how much value you have to other people. And that's ultimately going back to the comment, how can you be strong-minded? Find out what you're good at, find out what you're bad at. Focus on other people, not yourself. Don't focus on your insecurities. Laugh about things that maybe that you're not good at. Make a joke about it. Make the other person feel comfortable, but again, redirect that conversation back to them. Ultimately, it comes down to this. Can you focus on other people instead of yourself? You look at the Bible, it teaches the same thing. Ultimately, our love for God is equated with loving our neighbor as much as we love ourselves. Or even more challenging, loving our neighbor, more than ourselves. Maybe not as much as ourselves, but maybe even more than ourselves. And I think that's one of the simplest places to start, is getting other people to talk about themselves and encouraging them in that. So that it's not about you and your own insecurities and what's going bad, to be encouraging to others. That's how you find value. That is how I will say that you can be strong-minded in this day and age, especially as a man. Your comments belong right there.